Tony Ferguson, and he's fighting Edson Barboza at the Top 22 finale. Now, this is a fight that I'm actually really excited about. Not that I'm not excited for all your fights, because you always bring the action, but you're going to have someone bringing back some action too. How do you feel about this fight?
He's only going to bring about as much action as I allow him to. Edson Barboza is pretty crafty, he's tricky. Everybody's afraid of him, but I'm not afraid of anybody inside that octagon.
That I know. How do you sustain that intensity? I mean, is it something that like you go up and down, you focus in on, or you just always like?
It's one of those books that I choose to open at certain times. You know, when I go inside my lab or when I go in my office, I choose to open up that book and I look at different things that I need to work on. Even before it all touches, even before the lab, that intensity just stays with me. Since I was little, I've always been a three-sport bred athlete. So for me to stay intense is just one of those things where it's kind of like when you can't go to bed at night. It's like, okay, you want to try to read a book or do something? Me, I'm going to go for a run. So when that starts to turn off, then I might switch sports or do something different, but it stays on, the light's on.
So let's go a little to the beginning of your career. Ultimate Fighter, Brock Lesnar was your coach. You win the thing and then you go and you train with him. What were you looking at as your path at that point? Did you see that you were going to put together a run like this, or at that point was it just, let me get as good as I can to just stay in the UFC? What was the mentality?
The first thought when I went to train with Brock was, where the hell are we? We were training in the middle of nowhere. We were here for a job. And when Brock saw that inside the Ultimate Fighter house, he said, yeah, we're going to sponsor this kid, because not only did I just have the wrestling years, I had the heart and the spirit to go with it. And he saw that. And it was great. He gave me the opportunity that I don't waste. I haven't wasted it. Not one time have I wasted that time. My one loss that I had, I broke my arm. But I carried that intensity and that heart that we talk about, that iron will, that spirit that you can't beat, that Latino blood. You can't beat that.
So how do you describe yourself as a fighter now? I mean, I think people have seen, you know, your punches, hooks. Obviously, you're a wrestler. How would you describe yourself as a fighter now?
I think my style is evolving. I've gotten a lot of good feedback off of Twitter. You know, it's always good to hear back from the fans. They loved my style. They love the way intensity I bring, the creativity. I'm very innovative, and I go in there with a game plan, but I don't just rely on it. I'm very reactive towards anything that my opponent has. In all of my workouts before, very dynamic, so I have the conditioning to back it up.
You know, some people are incredibly you know, athletic, or they have the genetics, you know, they're just super freaks, right? Not that you are obviously a good athlete, but I think that your super freak skill is inside you.
But I'm not a super freak. I'm not a super freak athlete.
Well, no, you know, no, but you know what I mean.
Try harder.
No. Well, you see what some of these guys that they can jump 10 feet in the air, they can run a 40 in 4.2 seconds and all that stuff. And maybe you can do that. But
we try.
But they don't have that thing. They would not go 3 rounds with a broken arm. In other words.
I got in a debate, not a debate, a discussion actually. It was with my wife. It was funny. She asked me, she was like, some guys just don't have it. And I was trying to understand it. And it was hard for me because I didn't understand it. I was like, well, what are you talking about? Everybody's got it. If everybody can get it, if they have a little bit of gumption or a little bit of will, if I want, you can do it, you can feed it. It's just like a plant. You just got to root yourself, ground yourself, and then you can build it from the base up. You can sprout. But she says sometimes, you know, and I said it, I agreed with it. I was like, all fighters, you know, this isn't a job for everybody. This is a career, and it's not the easiest. This is probably one of the most difficult careers in the world, and I'm glad that none of you guys get to see all the bad stuff, because it's amazing, because we make this look great because we're professionals.
Tony Ferguson, follow him or get out of his way.
I want to do something in this fight that you guys have never seen before.
To be honest, I would never want to be trapped in a cage with that man.